Hello, everyone. Welcome back to MLS Moves. Please make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Decision day is upon us. We are finally here. It's going to be an exciting day. Eastern Conference, Western Conference decision day to see who is going to make the playoffs, what the positions and seeding is going to be for the playoffs. It's going to be a very exciting night. I can't wait to see what happens. Inter Miami is trying to break the MLS points record, right? They're trying to beat New England Revolution's 2021 MLS points record, and they're playing New England tonight, which is pretty cool to see if they will beat that record. I'm trying to figure out a stream, or not a stream, but just a score line that I can share with the stream so we can keep an eye on all the games. I don't think any of them have technically kicked off just yet. Let's see. Just give me one sec. I'm trying to figure out where we can get this. Timothy Park says, go DC United. Will is late. I am a little bit late. So I apologize for that. I had to eat real quick before the stream. You know, it's going to be a long night. Mr. says, hi, Will. Mr. Appreciate you stopping by. Luke says, LFG. Let's go. Cringe says, let's go. 80s nostalgia guy says, I agree Trump will be the Antichrist. I don't know about that, but hey, well, you know, I'm not getting into any politics tonight. It's all MLS tonight. It's all we're talking about. Cringe says, Inter Miami. Yes, Inter Miami is trying to break the MLS points record tonight. They are playing the New England Revolution. We will see if they are able to succeed. And hey, listen, I don't know if you guys caught this. This was interesting. Did you guys see what Sasha Kljestan said? It was almost an hour ago. His choice for MLS MVP, he has Lucho Acosta for MLS MVP, which I don't think anybody has Lucho Acosta's MVP this year. That was an interesting pick. I'm not exactly sure what he's sees in that, especially since they've kind of collapsed towards the end of the year. Let's see. Sofa score. New England Revolution should get the wooden spoon. I think that San Jose technically is in prime position to get the wooden spoon. I don't think that they're going. Maybe the Revolution are close. I can look that up real quick. Here, we'll just do Google. Okay, we'll just MLS scores. I don't know how frequently it updates, but we'll just do the Google stream just to keep up with the matches. Present. There we go. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. Keep track of the scores. We'll refresh it too. And I had some trouble. I don't know about if you guys were having the same issue, but I was having some trouble on my computer logging into my Apple TV to watch any of the games. I don't know what's going on with that, but I've been having issues. It won't it's freezing every time I try to log in. It's acting all up and stuff. So might have to watch it on the iPad. Might have to kind of look at an angle while we're doing the stream. And Timothy Park said, do you have any guests coming on tonight? I don't know if I'm going to have any guests on for the Eastern Conference stream, but I am going to have some guests on for the Western Conference stream for sure. We'll have a couple people swing by on the Western Conference stream. Well, I get my iPad set up here so I can watch the game. I'm probably going to start with the Inter Miami game just because I want to see if they're going to break the record. So I'm looking at the stats right here. So Inter Miami obviously are 3 points away from breaking the record, and it said that they've scored excuse me, they've scored 8 more goals than the 2021 record-breaking Revolution, and they've conceded 6 more goals. Carlos Gil was the MVP of that season, and that's why. Okay, so let's get back into this discussion. It's gonna be a fun night. I'm excited. Like I said, make sure you like this video, share with a friend. Let's grow the audience. We're gonna have a fun MLS Decision day night. for Eastern and Western Conference. Doing the Western Conference stream at 9 o'clock. We'll take an hour break in between. But Sasha Question said that Lucho Acosta deserved MVP. And the trend has been with MLS is the MVP is normally the player on the best team and the best in the league. The only outlier that I can think of in recent memory is Sebastian Jovinko in 2015 and Hani Mukhtar in 2022. But those guys had absolutely insane seasons. Statistically, I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you think any player has statistically outclassed Messi, like better statistics than him? Because with the stats he has and Miami being the best team in the league, I don't know how you couldn't give him MVP. That's who I picked for MVP if I got a vote. I did a video on that recently. I think that there's going to be a lot of award winners on this Miami team because they have been the best team in the league. And I don't know why Sasha Question thinks that Lucho Acosta should be New England Revolution score first. Wow. Revs on the board first. What a bad goal by Drake Callender to get a terrible conceding goal right there. New England Revolution are not going to give this away easy. New England Revolution 1, Inter Miami 0. That's not a good way to start. Let me refresh this again, see if we can. Hey, chat, if you know of a site that we can go to that can keep up with all the games live, the scores live, so we don't have to refresh, just so you guys can keep track, and we both can keep track of what's going on as the games are going on. Let me know. I think SofaScore is one spot that I normally go to. I don't think that you can see all the games at one time on SofaScore, so we might have to resort just to like the Google results. Mr. says it is San Jose and it's not close. They are the worst team in the league. I had issues accessing it too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's an issue on. I'm watching on my iPad easily, but it's an issue on my computer. Diogo says Bet365, so I can keep track of all the scores at one time on Bet365. Let's see. Major League Soccer. Yeah, I want to share that, but I'm afraid that they're gonna maybe give me a mark or a strike because I'm on a betting site. I think that could potentially hurt me. That's my only concern. Oh, I guess this keeps it live right here. I think that this works. I think we can do the Google track because it just updated that New England is up 1-0. We'll keep track and see if it's consistent and if it will continue doing it. So we'll keep it on Google for now. Timothy Park says 1-0 Columbus. Yes, Columbus Crew have scored on the Red Bulls. We'll see who scored the goal. Was it Cucho Hernandez? Oh, it was Jackson. Jackson scored but it was an assist by Cucho Hernandez. And also, too, just to keep everybody, I don't know if all you guys are aware of this. These are the battle or the positions that these Eastern Conference teams are fighting for. In the Eastern Conference, let me just pull it up real quick. Okay, here we go. So here's the scenarios. DC, Montreal, Philadelphia, and Atlanta are all fighting for the final 2 playoff spots. So let me see if I can share this. I don't think I can. Either way, so those are the final 4 spots that are being battled for. DC United, Montreal, Philadelphia, Atlanta for the 8th and the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Now, there are a couple teams that are fighting for spots and seeding in the playoffs, but the Eastern Conference is the only conference of the 2 that are actually fighting for those final spots. The Western Conference has already been decided as far as who's going to make the playoffs. It's just the positioning is what they're fighting for at this point. Timothy Park 1-0. Philadelphia. Yep, Philadelphia up 1-0 on Cincinnati in the 5th minute. There's some early scoring. There's a lot of early scoring actually. So this is not parking the bus and seeing what happens and last minute thrillers. Like they're scoring out of the gate. So Montreal and New York City FC, that's going to be interesting too, because obviously I mentioned Montreal is fighting for one of those final playoff spots. DC United and Charlotte. DC United have to win if they want to make the playoffs. They have to win. Orlando City and Atlanta still 0-0. Obviously, Atlanta United is still on the. They're obviously close to playoff contention as well. Chat, let me know, who do you guys think is going to win MVP this year? Curious to see what you guys think. Inter Miami is also, because that's the game I have on right now. Inter Miami has a full strength starting 11. They're trying to break that record. Tata Martino said he didn't care about the record a couple weeks ago. I didn't believe that. I think anytime you have a chance to beat a record, right? To be one of the best of all time, you're going to go for it. So I didn't believe it when he said that. I knew that he wanted to go for this record to capitalize a great season. I mean, you obviously with Messi here, you want to capitalize and you want to be remembered as the best regular season MLS team of all time. Now, do we know if Frank Klopas is coaching this last Chicago Fire game, or I think Berhalter might not be actually taking over until the end of the regular season, or next season will be his first game. I don't think he's coaching this match. I want to say that it's still Frank Klopas. So that should be pretty much a stalemate match. I don't really see that going anywhere. That's one of the least interesting matches. And DC United playing Charlotte, right? So Charlotte has the best goalkeeper in Kalina in the league. That's who I voted for goalkeeper of the year. That's going to be a tough game. DC United has to score, and Christian Benteke is the Golden Boot leader. He has 23 goals this year. So it's going to be interesting to see if it's a stalemate and see who ends up winning that battle between the two. Oh, it looks like Atlanta United has scored. Atlanta United gets on the board first against Orlando City. Like I said, that is a team that's in playoff contention right now. Atlanta United, they have to, let me pull up their stats real quick just to see what the goal difference is between them and their people or the teams below them. So they have a -4 goal differential, and Philadelphia has a +9. So if Montreal or DC United, it looks like draw. I'm trying to see what they've got it messed up on Google to where it's showing the stats were right now. Oh, Philadelphia scores too. Philly just scored. Or no, they did. Okay, never mind. They had scored. That's right. They did score in Cincinnati. So Philadelphia, if they score and they win, they're going to be in the playoffs. It's going to happen. Now DC United, if I'm not mistaken, and Montreal have to lose. Let me go back and look at this like a more accurate standings, because the Google one's messing up. It's doing it in live time. Let's see. Okay. Games played. So they're doing it too. That's okay. DC United and Montreal have to lose. They have to lose. They can't. If they draw, they're in. If they lose, as it stands right now, Philadelphia and Atlanta United will pass DC United and Montreal up in the standings and make the playoffs. As it stands right now, that's what will happen. Elon Don says, "Who is the best team in the league, and who will win it all?" I mean, Columbus and Miami are probably the two best teams in the league right now, but also LAFC are really good right now. So that's a tough one. I think both LA teams, the Crew and Miami, are the four favorites that can win MLS Cup. I I probably would give the edge to Miami. Honestly, I would give the edge to Miami. They have they're the best team in the league points wise, at least, and they're playing the New England Revolution to break the record for most points in a season. So I would say Miami's probably the best team in the league. I'd say Miami, and they're definitely the favorites to win. They're definitely the betting favorites to win MLS Cup in 2024. We'll have to see how they perform in the playoffs, though, because this will be Messi, Suarez, Alba, Busquets. Not Tata Martino's first time in the playoffs, but first playoff appearance as the Inter Miami coach. So we'll see how he handles it. We'll see what happens when they actually get to the playoffs. And we'll look at when the Eastern Conference is done, we'll look at the potential playoff matchups on who they would play. Inter Miami would most likely, whoever is the 8th and 9th seed, they'll play the winner of the play-in match in the first round. So they'll either play, Miami will either play DC United, Montreal, Philadelphia, or Atlanta in the first round. And I feel good about them beating any of those teams. And then the Crew will face the New York Red Bulls. Cincinnati will face Charlotte, and Orlando City SC will face New York City SC or New York City FC, excuse me, in the first round of the playoffs. Inter Miami is just playing pretty sloppy right now. They don't look like they're trying to break this record. Ooh, Luis Suarez close to a goal. Pass from Jordi Alba. That was close. Who do you guys in the chat? Let me know. Who do you guys think is the favorite to win MLS Cup right now? Who is the favorite? Do you think Inter Miami is the favorite to win MLS Cup? Do you think it's Columbus Crew? I mean, Columbus Crew is obviously a very good team. It would be interesting to see if they repeat. I think they'd be the first team to repeat MLS Cup titles since the LA Galaxy in 2011, 2012. Luke says Miami or Galaxy are the favorites to win MLS Cup. I think the Galaxy definitely have a good chance. Marco Royce, when he gets, healthy and back in the starting 11, and, with the scoring prowess they have of Joveljic, Paintsel, Peck, the only thing that's concerning about them is their defense. Ooh, Julian Gressel with the curler. He just saved. But yes, Miami and the Galaxy, I think, would probably be my pick for MLS Cup right now, although LAFC look very good. WG says LA Galaxy favorites. I mean, I like they're good. They're really good, and they're going to have home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs. So that's definitely going to help them out. Mr. said, I said Miami in February. I'm not changing now. Yeah. Hey, you were on it before a lot of other people were. It's going to be tough to beat them, especially because they're going to have home field advantage for the entire playoffs. Their supporter shield playoff home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs. So the MLS Cup will have to go through Miami until they lose. Which could be interesting because the Galaxy are undefeated at home, but they obviously don't have the best record in the league. So I'd be curious to see if they did play in Miami, what the score of that game would be. They struggled a little bit more on the road, but it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to beat the Galaxy in the playoffs at home. They haven't lost all year long. So why start now? Oh, what a pass from Jordi Alba to Luis Suarez. Yeah, I think that the LA Galaxy, the only team that can beat the LA Galaxy at home is LAFC, in my opinion. And I don't even know if they can do it, honestly. LAFC is really hot though. That's another thing too. I don't want to get into that because that's for the Western Conference stream. But LA Galaxy and LAFC will be playing for the first spot in the Western Conference. Timothy Park says 2-0. Columbus Crew are absolutely rolling the Red Bulls right now. Chaberco with the second goal. It looks like Jackson's player of the game so far. He's got an assist and a goal in the first 15 minutes. That's Columbus Crew are a hot team. They're going to be difficult. They won't face Miami until the Eastern Conference final if both team wins. But they're a tough team to beat, man. They are just such a well-coached team. Wilfred Nancy's the best manager in the league. I think he might be the best manager of all time in MLS, what he's been able to do with this team. But it's just going to be difficult to beat Inter Miami at home. So 3 games so far, no score. DC United, Charlotte 0-0. Nashville SC and Chicago 0-0, and then Montreal and New York City FC 0-0. Atlanta want the playoffs 2-0 now. So Atlanta has scored again. So some of these teams are really going for it, right? Like I said, though, Atlanta United needs some help, though. WG. They need DC United, and they need isn't it DC United and Montreal to lose in order for them to make it? It doesn't matter if they win 6-0. They need one of those teams to lose in order to jump them in the playoff contention. And they also need Philadelphia to lose because Philadelphia has a better goal difference than them. Did I miss? Is Messi not playing? I didn't check. I was kind of in a rush. I didn't get to check the starting 11. Yeah, so Messi's not even playing. He's off the bench. So we'll probably see Messi in the second half. Obviously, he's coming back from international duty with Argentina, where he scored a hat trick in a game against Bolivia, if I'm not mistaken. So Messi starts off the bench with Inter Miami. Likely to see him in the second half. By the way, as far as Atlanta United, just because WG mentioned them, I think that the favorite to be their manager is still Patrick Vieira. Nothing's been announced yet, but I think that Patrick Vieira is inevitably going to be the next manager of Atlanta United. New England Revolution almost score again. Miami's defense just worries me so much, honestly. That's like their one kryptonite. I don't know how they would handle a team that can score at ease because their defense, their back four is just so bad. Toto Avilés has been inconsistent. David Martinez is okay, but he's still unproven. He hasn't done a lot. Wingate is, an average fullback at best, and Alba's good. He's an average. Alba is an average, above average defender, but he's very good in attack. But he's not the same player, obviously, he was years ago. So if they can't stop people from scoring, and all these goals leak in, I just don't know how they're going to. I just don't know how they're going to. They're going to end up being able to win the cup. They're showing the Atlanta United replay to go up 2-0. Oh, Montreal has scored. Montreal has scored against New York City FC 1-0. They are in the lead. This does not help the chances of Atlanta United and DC United, or excuse me, Atlanta United and Philadelphia. If they win, they're in. If they draw, they're in. Now they're up 1-0. They need New York City to come back and beat them if they want a chance of making the playoffs. The only way Atlanta United makes the playoffs is if Both DC United and Montreal lose. Philadelphia just needs one of them to lose, and they're in. This is why you got to take the regular season more serious. You can't wait to the final stretch to try to put it together. But let's be honest, Atlanta United they don't deserve to make the playoffs, to be honest with you. They fired their coach halfway through the season. They sold their best players. They don't have a full-time coach yet. So I would say that they don't even deserve to make the playoffs at this point. Making the playoffs would be lucky, honestly. They'd be very fortunate. Now the pressure will be on next year to see what they do. Garth Lagerwey will have to continue building this team and try to make them competitive again. They haven't been good in a while, honestly. They haven't been what we were accustomed to seeing all those years, especially in the Tata Martino era. Looks like Caden Clark scored for Montreal. So only 2 games so far are scoreless: Chicago, Nashville, DC United, Charlotte. Those are the only 2 games that are scoreless at the moment. Caden Clark's been playing really well for Montreal. He's really turned around. He wasn't doing very well with Minnesota, but he's doing well with Montreal. You love to see it. Oh, New England just threatening Inter Miami. Inter Miami looked terrible. Let's see what's the current standings playoff movement as far as what could change if a team loses or in the seeding. It looks like if New York City FC lose and Charlotte win, they will jump New York City New York City FC, and Charlotte could potentially pass up Orlando. If there's a 2-goal difference there, they could potentially pass up Orlando. I don't see that happening, but they could. And so the top 3 seeds are set in stone. Miami, Columbus, Cincinnati, set in stone. Those are going to be the top 3 seeds. 4 through 9 is totally in flux right now. New York Red Bulls, they're losing to the Crew, but they could, if they're able to come back and win, they could be as high as the 6th seed. Ooh, Luis Suarez just had a bad whiff. Greg Morrison says, what do you think Nashville could do next year? It's a great question. I think that what Nashville could do next year is compete for the playoffs again because they have Hani Mukhtar, they have Sam Surridge. What they need to do is they need to adapt. They need to try to get some more U22s in here. They need to shake this roster up. I mean, there's some good players on this roster, but they need to shake things up. They have a very MLS 1.0, 1.5-esque like roster. And they got a great player in Hani Mukhtar who does things that other players in this league can't really do. They're very few and far between. They got to get Hani Mukhtar some help finally. When he's on the field, he's it's a one-man show. Sam Surridge finally picked it up a little bit towards the end of the year. He looked a lot better. So that's encouraging. But wink it off the crossbar. So close. Julian Gressel with the rebound shot is a nice save. But my God, Wingett was so close to scoring right there. So close, off the woodwork. I don't know how he missed that. He was offside, though. He was offside. It's a nice header, though. Should have finished it. But I think Nashville SC, one of the things I think Nashville SC should be doing is they definitely should be trying to offload Walker Zimmerman's horrible deal because he's making like $3.5 million. He's making $3.5 million. And you can't win in this league if you're making $3.5 million, paying a defender $3.5 million, especially Nashville SC, because they have so many attacking deficiencies that you cannot pay a defender that much. I would try to offload Walker Zimmerman, buy him out, do whatever you have to do. I would buy him out. I would try to trade for some MLS veterans on the cheap that are good depth pieces. Coughing like a smoker these days, still trying to fight this sickness. So my apologies for that. And they sign some U22s. They signed the Australian kid, but they got to do more than that. If you want to win an MLS Cup, you got to utilize your U22s and you got to utilize your TAM. And you can't be a budget friendly team anymore. You're gonna have to spend some money. You're gonna have to adapt. I think BJ Callaghan's actually a good coach. So I'm optimistic about it. Dabbing Inc says, "What are your thoughts on Philly?" Well, I think Philly is an overperformer. I think Jay Sugarman should be spending more money to help them out. I believe that if they miss the playoffs this year, that Jim Curtin will probably leave on his own accord. I think he'll leave and move on and go to another MLS team, one that will spend more, that he has a chance to actually win with. Because look at what Pat Noonan did with Cincinnati. He left as an assistant coach he left as assistant coach with the Union. He goes to Cincinnati, and they turn it around and look at what they're able to do because they spend money. They're a competing team. I think the Union will never truly be an MLS Cup contender, even though they've gotten very lucky and they made a lot of their bargain hunters. They made a lot work with what they spend. And a lot of that is a credit to Jim Curtin and like the likes of Andre Blake, just because he's been the best goalkeeper in MLS history. And getting him in the draft is huge. And their homegrowns have been very effective. But they're not going to win until they spend some money. You can't bargain hunt completely and expect to win an MLS Cup. I would not be surprised if he leaves. I would not be surprised if Jim Curtin leaves on his own accord. He will not be fired. He will leave on his own accord. Agent Winter says, "What is your opinion on the playoff format?" I think there's too many teams. I think it should be single elimination games. I would probably do 7 the most. I think the format they had before was perfect. Give the first seeds in each conference a bye. And then single elimination, top 7 teams in each conference make it. So it's less than half, but it's better than 9 each, right? 18 of 29. And I feel like you reward the best team in the league. They get a bye week. I don't like the best of 3 either. The best of 3 is stupid. I hate the first round best of 3. They did that to have a bigger inventory to sell more games, but it's best of 3s have no business in soccer. Greg Morrison says, "I think BJ Callahan can do very well with us. We looked very good in the second half against New York City FC. I think he's a good coach. I like the hire a lot. I thought he was good in the national team too when he was the interim when Greg left and Hudson left. And I just have to give him some help. They have to spend some money. They can't keep being cheap. But Greg, they got to offload that Walker Zimmerman deal, man. They got to offload that Walker Zimmerman deal. It's an absolute killer to the team. It's a killer to the team." Chicago, Nashville, and DC United and Charlotte are still the 2 scoreless teams. We're about halfway. Well, actually, we're a little more than halfway through the first half. Let me refresh this. Elon Don says, thank you for hosting this. It's one of a kind. Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, I thought this would be cool. I thought it'd be cool to do a stream for both conferences just to interact with you guys, see what you guys think about the games. We could watch together, see how it unfolds, and who makes the playoffs. A lot of teams contending for the final 2 playoff spots. People battling for their positioning in the playoffs, trying to avoid certain teams in the first round. I mean, does anyone feel good about playing the Columbus Crew in a best of 3? I wouldn't feel good about that. Jack McKenna says, are you going to stream for playoff matches? I'm going to stream certain games. I'm going to stream more when we get to like the final half of it. I'm going to stream both Eastern Western Conference finals and obviously the MLS Cup final. But if there's a certain game, like a matchup that I really want to do, I probably will. I'm not going to stream the best of 3 series because that's just too much. And it's, I'm going to wait till it gets further, at least past the first round before I start streaming the games. But yes, I'm definitely going to stream some matches for the playoffs, 100%. Adam says, any thoughts on Inter Miami so far this game? Yeah, they look a little lackluster. They don't really look like they're trying to break the record, honestly. Defense looks completely unorganized. I mean, this is the worst team in the league, or the worst team in the Eastern Conference they're playing right now. They're playing the worst team in the Eastern Conference, and they're losing at home 1-0. Records on the line, 74 points. They're not looking like a team that's wanting to win. Not looking like a team trying to break that record, that New England Revolution record of 2021 when Carlos Hill won MVP and Bruce Arena was the coach. That's another name to keep an eye on. I'll be curious to see if Bruce Arena is actually done, like if he's actually finished with MLS or if they're finished with him. I would definitely hire Bruce Arena. If you want a team to turn around and to build a program builder or a team builder, if you want to call it that, you hire Bruce Arena. Can Caleb Porter turn the Revs around? I think he can, because they're spending more than they used to. They used to be one of the bottom half spending teams in the league. But I don't know, man. I think the team's cursed. I call it the Bruce Arena curse. Since they fired him, the team has just been in absolute shambles. Oh my God. The New England Revolution score again. Bad giveaway by Drake Callender. Slips through his legs, and it looked like Wingate couldn't save it. So New England Revolution up 2-0 on Inter Miami. Inter Miami is absolutely crapping the bed right now. Absolutely crapping the bed right now. Wow. New England Revolution have nothing to play for right now. Inter Miami have everything to play for, and they are absolutely choking right now. They're going to have to get their Argentine number 10 to come off the bench. Keep in mind, they have to score 3 goals now to break the record. What an absolute terrible clearance by Wingate. That was just terrible. Absolutely terrible. And that was embarrassing. That went through Jake Callender's legs. How does Drake Callender not save that? I hope you guys see that replay. Drake Callender has the ball in his hands. It just goes right through his hands. And then Wingate has a chance to save it, and he doesn't. Absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. So Inter Miami's going to have the goals start flooding in. Bring in Matias Rojas. Bring in Messi in the second half in order to try to get some goals back. They're down 2-0 right now. The turnaround is already on. Yeah, I still think that there's some things they need to work out. New England has a lot of things they need to address this offseason. Wonder if Carlos Gil would get traded. That's an interesting one. I wonder if he will be on the move from New England. Maybe they move on from their number 10. It looks like Inter Miami is starting to play with a little bit more urgency now than they were. Ooh. Inter Miami's threatening. Julian Gressel had a shot blocked. Now they're resetting. Mr. says, honestly, I don't think the record is a priority for Miami. Main thing they wanted was the shield. Saying that, watch them bring Messi on at halftime and he scores a hat trick. If Messi scores a hat trick at the half or in the second half, MVP's a wrap. MVP is absolutely a wrap if that happens. Isn't this performance in the first half kind of like a prime example of why Messi is MVP? And they're losing to the Revolution in the first half 2-0. Doesn't this help Messi's case for MVP with how bad they're playing without him on the pitch right now? Pretty much close as you can get first team starting 11, right? Who's your guys' sleeper team in the playoffs this year? Who do you guys think is a team that could, in the Eastern Conference, that we obviously know the top 3 teams, but who's a team that you think could do some damage in the playoffs and could be a sleeper? Someone who could make some noise, someone who could potentially win it this year. I mean, I think a team that could potentially make some noise is Charlotte, just because defensively they're very good and they got the best goalkeeper in the league right now. And I also think another team could be Barry Billings' sleeper playoff team is Charlotte because they have a good defense. Yep, that's what exactly. I think New York City FC could be just because they have a lot of talent. They just haven't really put it all together. And Nick Cushing, I think, has a lot of deficiencies as a manager, but I think they could be a very good sleeper team to make the playoffs, or not to make the playoffs, but to do some damage in the playoffs. Oh, Luis Suarez scores for Inter Miami. They pull one back, 2-1. Desperate goal needed. 40th minute. Three most underrated coaches, in my opinion, this year. Let me look at this replay on this Luis Suarez goal. Looks like it was Martinez with the assist. What a left-footed finish by Luis Suarez to give Miami, cut the deficit in half. Great goal. They're still very much in this. If you know Inter Miami, they definitely are. They could score with anybody rapidly, quickly. My three most underrated coaches in MLS this season, you have to give it to Dean Smith, because I think he's done a really good job with Charlotte, because they were one of the worst teams in the league, and I think he's done an incredible job with them. I think Pablo Mastroianni deserves a lot of credit for what he's done with RSL. And I think my third one would have to be Chris Armas with Colorado, because that's close. Chris Armas with Colorado, because I didn't think Colorado would be very good. I didn't think that they would even be in the playoffs this year, but they are, and they've been competing. So I think Dean Smith, Chris Armas, and Dean Smith, Chris Armas. I'm trying to think of who was the third one that I named. Oh, Pablo Mastroianni. Yes, Pablo Mastroianni. Those three coaches have been I think that they've been very good this year and the most underrated, and they don't get enough props for what they've done. Cringe says Robert Taylor has truly fallen off. Yes, he has fallen off. They should have traded him last year when they had all that, when they had some good offers for him. They should have traded him. They had some really good offers for Robert Taylor. Several, like, 600-700K in GAM. They should have traded off of him when they had a chance. Luis Suarez with the brace. Wow. 2-2 Inter Miami. Holy hell. Luis Suarez with the brace in the first half. Luis Suarez has brought Inter Miami back to life. The fall off is in progress with the New England Revolution. The fall off is in progress with the New England Revolution. What a goal. Between the legs, too. Mr. Mister says most underrated, I'd probably go with Dean Smith. One thing I will say, it isn't Phil Neville. You know my thoughts on Phil Neville. Yeah, Phil Neville's a bum. He's terrible. He's bad. Dean Smith has been really good. That's a good hire by them. Timothy Park says 2-1 Atlanta. You refresh this. Yep, 2-1 Atlanta. Jack McKinnon says, I actually hate this club so much, man. Yeah, that's the thing, though. Miami, they can turn it on just like that. They're at 2-2. Luis Suarez pulls one back, scores within like 2 minutes of each other. What an incredible goal by Luis Suarez. That's his 20th goal of the season, too. 20 goals for Luis Suarez. Did Luis Suarez just enter the MVP conversation once again? Did he enter the MVP conversation once again? He's got 20 goals and 6 assists. He's 3 goals from the Golden Boot. Like, Christian Benteke is going to run away with it, but he's got 20 goals this season for Inter Miami. He is still proven he is an effective, good player. Finn says, absolutely not. No, no love for Luis Suarez. No love for him. To be fair, I think Suarez could actually be MVP. He's so clutch. He is. I mean, he just scored 2 crucial goals. They were down 2-0. Now it's 2-2 going in the half, and Miami is right back in this thing, and honestly, probably the favorite. The record is still alive. Inter Miami still can break the all-time points record in a season. It's right in front of them. Right in front of them. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you like the stream, share with a friend. Let's grow the audience as much as we can. It is MLS Decision Day. We're going to see what happens. Going to be exciting finish to see who makes the playoffs and see if Inter Miami can break the MLS points record. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're putting out crazy content. MLS playoffs is right around the corner, so you're not going to want to miss any of my predictions, previews, live streams. It's going to be an exciting final stretch of the MLS regular season. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and it's going to be a hell of a ride. This is a great ending for the first half for Inter Miami. Just a great finish for the first half. They'll give it to their golden boy, Messi, even though Cucho deserves it. I still think Messi deserves over Cucho just because of the team. They're the best team in the league, but Cucho in another year would win it, right? Cucho is my second choice. I mean, I was starting the Cucho MVP talk. Like, I was all about it. I think Cucho deserved it. Cucho definitely deserved it over Evander because his team's good and his stats are just as good. So I was definitely on the Cucho over. I was definitely on the Cucho over Luis or Evander train for sure. Like, it wasn't even close. Luke says, would you have much rather have seen? Okay, you'd much rather have seen Rojas over Taylor in this Miami game. 100%. Matias Rojas is the sleeper for most underrated signing in the MLS this year for me. I think in any other year he would have won it. Newcomer of the year. He's great. They're lucky to have him. He would start on any other team. Yes, Matias Rojas definitely should be starting over Robert Taylor. Robert Taylor's washed. He's not good anymore. Chris Sundler says, do you think the Red Bulls should sack Schwartz? I think he's fallen off. No, I don't think so. I don't think they should because, Montreal up 2-0 over New York City FC. It looks like Montreal is punching their ticket into the 2024 MLS Cup playoffs. It looks like they will make it. But to your question, Chris, I don't think they're going to fire Schwartz. And I only say that because they were supposed to have another big signing to help Emil Forsberg. And there's not a lot of help on that team, right? They have Emil Forsberg, they have Luis Morgan. They were supposed to add another big time player. There was talk about Timo Werner, but that didn't happen. And I think you can't really fault him for that. I mean, they made the playoffs. I don't think they made the playoffs last year, to my knowledge. I don't think they did. Let me look and make sure. Okay, so they were in the play-in last year, but still, he got a guaranteed playoff spot this year. I think that they started off really hot, but they were supposed to add this summer. They didn't. The pressure's on. They need to add some players, and I would give him one more year. I would give him one more year, and we'll see what happens. Mr. says, remember when people said that at the start of the season that Luis Suarez won't keep up with the pace of play? His knees are gone. Yeah, I remember Taylor Twellman saying that. Taylor Twellman was saying that his knees look like cantaloupes and that he wasn't going to be good anymore. And he's 37 and he can't walk. And the guy is sitting here with 20 goals. So obviously that was BS, right? Looks pretty damn good to me. Looks really good. He is the second best player on this team. And, Messi's just done incredible things for the time he's played. But yes, Luis Suarez 100% is incredible for his age and what he's been able to do. Inter Miami 2-2 at the half against the New England Revolution. Great finish to the first half after being down 2-0. This is, I think that they definitely are going to break the record of the New England Revolution from 2021. They need one goal to do it, and they can't concede anymore. I think they will be able to do it. What are the first half takeaways? Timothy Park says Philly, Cincy 1-1 at the half. Not good for Philly. If they need DC United to lose though. So if DC United holds on to the draw, they're in, and Philadelphia and Atlanta are out. I think New York City FC are so much better than the table says on paper. So what's wrong with the coaching? I don't think Nick Cushing is good enough at utilizing the talent. I think he's bad at making adjustments. I don't think he is good in big time situations. And I think their defense is a little overrated. I don't think their defense is that good. I don't think Thiago Martins is great. I think he kind of sucks, honestly. I think Matt Freese is a great goalkeeper, though. Really good goalkeeper. It was hard to not pick him as my goalkeeper of the year. But I think this team just doesn't really have good leadership. I don't think Nick Cushing's a good coach. Let's look at I'm going to look at their spending real quick. Here, we're gonna take a break on these scores because it's halftime. It looks like it's halftime for all the games. We're gonna look at their spending this offseason. So, I mean, look how much money they spent. They bought Mihajlovic for 8 million euros, Agustin Ojeda for 7 million euros, Julian Fernandez almost 5 million euros. I mean, they spent a lot of money this offseason. Keep in mind, these expenses right here, these would be records for a lot of teams, especially like Philadelphia Union. This would definitely be records. These would be absolute records for all these teams. And they spent all this money, and I don't think that he's doing a good enough job of getting these guys ready to go and using them effectively. I think that's the issue right now. Who should replace Cushing because he needs to go? They need to get a big time. They need to get a proven coach abroad. They need to get someone like Giovanni. What was his name? Van Bronckhorst. He was rumored to be in contention for the job. Only thing is he's coaching at Besiktas now, so I don't think he would leave. Maybe someone like a Miguel Herrera, someone with personality. Even Ronnie Dyla, the guy who won them their first MLS Cup, who was on the hot seat numerous times. He's coaching in, I think he's coaching in the Arabian League, or the United United Arab Emirates League is where he's coaching right now. UAE Pro League. That could be somebody. Maybe a pairing back with him, even though they were trying to run him off, and that's why he left. There's some coaches out there. It's not hard to upgrade from Nick Cushing. Nick Cushing should have never gotten the job. He was supposed to be an interim. Mr. says, I'm still going to predict Messi will come on at some point and score the winner. It just feels like something that will happen. Like that will happen. Yeah, I agree. I think so too. Especially they'll want him on the field for their record-breaking game, right? Luke says Philly really needs to spend more to keep up with the rest of the league. Yeah, I mean Philly's record for transfer fees is embarrassing. I think Ua is their record, and Mikel Ua is like 2 million. Yeah, 2.55 million euros is the record for Mikel Ua. I mean, even Daniel Gazdag. Look at these signings that they've had where they've lucked out. I mean, Daniel Gazdag was only cost 1.6 million euros, and he was like an MVP caliber player the last couple of years. They've hit on a lot of players, but they've got to spend more. Like what they're spending, like their record is what most teams are spending each year now. Jack McKenna says, I know the West stream is later, but as I can't make it, do you think LAFC can win the West? Yeah, I think they can. I think they can, for sure. They're going to have the Galaxy lose, though, but I think they can. I'm assuming you're meaning about first place in the West. Yes, the LAFC definitely could still win the Western Conference. They're going to need some help. But They definitely still can win it. Now, if you're talking about the playoffs, they definitely can still win it. They can still win it all for sure. I can't believe the playoffs start so soon. I can't believe it. Like we're right around the corner. I think there might be even games. Is there games Wednesday? Let me see. I think there might be some games Wednesday. MLS Cup playoffs. I'm trying to get the dates real quick. Wild card round. What about the play in? I'm trying to find the play in dates. Yeah, it looks like there's a game Wednesday. Our first MLS Cup game will be Wednesday for the Eastern Conference, and the Western Conference playing game will be on Thursday. And then the playoffs start officially next Saturday. So hey, playoffs are right around the corner. It's going to be great. This is the most exciting time of the year. MLS Supporter Shield does not matter for the winner of the league. It's all about the MLS Cup playoffs, and we're right around the corner. We got games Wednesday. We got games Thursday. We've got games Saturday. Like, this is the most exciting time of the year for Major League Soccer. This is the best time of the year. Philly have done a good job of moneyballing. Yeah, I call them bargain hunters. That's what they do. They find cheap players in the academy, on the trade market, abroad. They're bargain hunters. They find players that are very good for their price, and they make the most out of it. They're very good at that. They're very good at that. So they deserve props. So think about this, Mr. How much better would they be if they spent more? How much better would Philadelphia be if they spent more money? Just a little more, right? Just a little bit. Like 2.5 million euros is their record for Mikel Ua, and that's not even close to other teams' records. I could pull up a random team. Let's just look at Montreal, because they're a cheap team. I call them the Impact still. I will always refer to them as the Impact. I'm sorry about that, but that's the way I know them. Okay. Let's see what their record is. Maybe I'll have to look them up as CF Montreal, because this is a very cheap spending team too. So if you get outspent by Montreal, you got some serious issues. Okay, here we go. Let's see what their record is. Wow, so they're even cheaper. 900K is their record fee. Okay, that's just 2021 season. Okay, we're looking up all seasons. I would say, holy hell, that's bad. That's really bad if that was all time. Okay, so 2.8 million. So Montreal has a record over Philadelphia Union for the transfer record, 2.8. So it's almost 300K more than the Philadelphia Union's record for transfer fee spent on Vargas back in the 16-17 season. That is embarrassing, honestly. This is a team that really doesn't spend any money. David the Apper says, I'm a Galaxy fan, so I hope not. Mr. says, Philly have done a good job of moneyballing, but you can only do it for so long. Yes. The bargain hunting has to stop at a certain point, especially in MLS now, because teams there's a lot more rules. U22s, TAM, GAM, DPs. There's a lot of mechanisms you can use to score to spend now, and you can't play Moneyball and not use these positions and expect to win an MLS Cup. You got to spend. You have to be able to. You have to utilize these roster spots to compete, or you're never going to win anything. Barry Billings says, I think that Philly's lack of spending goes to show even more how good of a coach Curtin is. Imagine if that was Dolo. If that was Dolo, they wouldn't even make the playoffs, in my opinion. That's why, Barry, I had my friend Todd Lewis on a couple days ago when I was doing a stream, and I had him on, and I told him, I said, because a lot of people in Philly are wanting to move off of Jim Curtin, and I'm like, why would you want to move off Jim Curtin? He's good. He's done a lot for this team with what they have. I don't think Jim Curtin will be fired. I think he will leave on his own accord. If they don't make the playoffs this year, I would not be surprised to see Jim Curtin step down as the Philadelphia Union head coach. Because why would he stay? They're not going to spend money. He can't win. Hell, he can't make the playoffs anymore with what they spend because they sold their best player in Carranza, who went to, I want to say, was it Feyenoord or was it PSV? No, it wasn't PSV. It must have been Feyenoord. I think it was Feyenoord. Yeah, went to Feyenoord. So how are they supposed to? They sold one of their best players, who they got as an absolute steal from Miami a couple years back. How are they supposed to win if they don't spend any money? How? Barry says, really don't wait Dolo at all. He's so lucky to manage a top side. You say you don't like Dolo? I think Dolo's very lucky, very fortunate. He's a very, very lucky guy with the team he coaches. That's why I think if they had a better coach, they'd have more championships than what they have. It's almost foolproof. You would have to suck to screw it up. Just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I meant to say rate, not wait. Sorry. Yeah. I don't rate him either. I think he's overrated. I think he's very overrated. But hey, I mean, when you coach a team like LAFC, it hides a lot of your deficiencies as a coach. Hides a lot of your deficiencies as a coach. I think you're right about him. Totally agree. Yeah, I think that I don't know. I just think that Dolo, they could do so much better. We'll see what happens. I think if they don't win the MLS Cup this year, though, he'll get fired. Honestly, I don't think he makes it at the end of the year if they don't win MLS Cup because of all the stuff they've invested. I don't think so. I'm curious, real quick. I just want to see what Miami's records. Now, keep in mind they obviously have a little bit more money, but we just looked at the Philadelphia Union and Montreal's all-time record for money spent on a transfer fee. And that's all time, not just 1 year, not 2 years, all time. Let's look what Miami spent just this year alone. Let's see what they just spent this year alone. So, well, technically it's last summer and this year. But look at this, okay? Diego Gomez, they spent $2.7 million for him, and this is just the last year. He would have been the all-time transfer record for the Union. And this was Miami's fourth biggest fee that they spent this year. Fourth biggest fee, 2.7 million euros. And that would have been a record for the Union. So do you see what I'm saying as far as like what they're spending? Facundo Frias, 5 million euros. Toto Aviles, 6.3 million euros. Federico Redondo, 7.45 million euros. Like the spending, this is why Miami's the best team in the league, because they spend. You cannot be cheap and win in this league. Those days are long behind us. Thing is, Jim Curtin is a good coach. His problem this season is the current Moneyball cycle is coming to an end. You're seeing it with the results. Curtin should say, give me a little more or I quit. Well, he has criticized the rules the MLS has, but I mean, it wouldn't really matter based on how the coach or the team spends. It wouldn't do him any favors, but he needs to. He does, Mr. Mister. He needs to hold them accountable and say, listen, man, Jay Sugarman, if you don't give me more money, I'm out of here. I will not coach this team anymore unless you give me some resources to be able to win matches. Chris Sundler says LAFC should have a way better coach. I think some of the top coaches from Europe or South America would be happy to manage that roster. Yes. Yes, they They could easily upgrade their coach. Easily. It wouldn't even be close. They could have get an easy coach and it wouldn't even be hard. I mean, Dolo holds this team back. I think if Dolo wasn't managing this team, they'd have several more MLS Cups. They would have won last year. They would have won Champions League this year or last year. Dolo holds his team back 100%. David the Yapper says, question, do you think Royce will play for the Galaxy tonight? He was injured for the last game. Probably not. I don't think he will because I think they want to rest him for the playoffs and they want to make sure he's a full go. I think they can handle business without him. So no, I don't think we'll see him, but I could be surprised. Could be wrong. He could play, but I think they want to rest him and make sure he's a full go for the playoffs. Agent Winter says, I hope Royce doesn't play. Dynamo fan. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Marco Royce he can be an X factor for that team. He could be the difference of them, winning an MLS Cup and not winning an MLS Cup. That was a great signing by the team, and I think that signing might actually age better than Olivier Giroud. Okay, let me pull the scores back up since the half is over. Agent Winter says, I think the Galaxy will win MLS Cup. I think there's a good chance they could. I think if there's a Galaxy Inter Miami MLS Cup final, that's going to be a ratings hit. That's going to be, the ultimate dream for the league. I'm not going to lie to you, though. It is a little sad that a team like Montreal, who doesn't spend, does get to make the playoffs because of how many teams qualify for the playoffs. I wish we could reward. I'm not saying you guys spend the most, but they don't spend anything either. They're just a cheap team. I wish we could reward the teams that actually have some ambition. And I don't think Montreal really do have any ambition. They haven't had ambition since like 2015 when they signed Didier Drogba. Ooh, looks like Jordi Alba might be hurt. Did he pull his hamstring? Oh, it looks like he's fine. David the Yapper says, looks pretty like that would happen. Pretty much that would happen Galaxy versus Miami. Yeah, I mean, that would be ideal for them. Greg Morrison says, who are your top three for coach of the year? Mine are Vanny, Nancy, and Smith at the moment. I'll get to that in just 1 second. Timothy Park says 2-1 Cincy. Yep, Cincinnati up 2-1 on the Philadelphia Union. It looks like the Union's playoff dreams are slipping away from them. Remember, they have to win. DC United have to lose for them to make the playoffs, or Montreal have to lose, and that's not going to happen. Montreal's up 2-0, and DC United has a draw right now. So they would have to win, and then one of those teams would have to lose. So it looks like the Philadelphia Union are trending to not make the playoffs this year. 2 years removed from making the MLS Cup final in 2022. Jim Curtin's days could be numbered. He will probably walk away unless the team gives him more money to spend. My whole perspective is, why even own a team if you have no interest in spending? Why own a professional sports team if you're not going to spend not even the most money of any team, but just not even they're not even spending the bare minimum. So I don't understand. I feel like you have to invest. You have to be able to spend. You have to be willing to spend some money. This is the end for Curtin. He'll walk away. Atlanta missed a penalty. This could be costly. So back to this original question by Greg. Who are your top three for coach of the year? I have Tata Martino number one because of the games he was able to win with all his players out this summer, and he's still able to win the Supporter Shield. It looks like get close to breaking the record, the points record. So I have Tata Martino number one. I have Wilfred Nancy number two, and then number three, I probably would have Greg Vanney just because of how bad they were last year, missing the playoffs, and then to go be the first seed in the Western Conference. I think that is impressive, even though I would say Will Kuntz is probably more to credit for the turnaround. But I would say one, Martino, two, Nancy, three, Greg Vanney for MLS Coach of the Year. Now, here's the question. Does Suarez get the hat trick tonight? Agent Winter says, yeah, we had the spending problem in our dark ages when Matt Jordan was our owner. He never spent any whenever we got any talent, he would just sell him for less than what they were worth. Glad he's gone. Yeah, I mean, they signed Ezequiel Ponce for like, what was it? Was it close to, what was it, $8 million, $7 million they paid for Ponce? 9 million euros for Ponce from Athens. So it says $9 on a $9 million fee on transfer market. That is incredible because, as you know, Agent Winters, the Dynamo never would have paid that much money for him. They would have never spent anywhere close to that. So that's a huge turnaround, and it's nice to see a club like Houston. Keep in mind, are in the fourth biggest market in the country. At a market like Houston spend some money to try to compete. Maybe we'll see the Chicago Fire do the same thing with Berhalter. Maybe we'll see a difference with Berhalter and them investing a little bit more money. Chris Sundler says, does Greg Berhalter make it more than a year with the Chicago Fire? Yes, he will definitely make it more than a year. I'd say he'll probably get at least like 3 years, and he will make the playoffs. The Chicago Fire have only made the playoffs 2 times since 2020, which I couldn't even believe when I heard that or read that. I think he will definitely make it, and he will most likely qualify for the playoffs each year. But I don't know if they're going to win an MLS Cup under him. I would seriously doubt it. I've been surprised before, though. Who knows? Maybe they do. Maybe they do win an MLS Cup under Greg Berhalter. But I highly, highly doubt that he'll do that. But I do think he'll make them competitive. I think that he will make the team a little bit more respectable. I still have my reservations about Greg Berhalter, but surely to God, he can make the playoffs, especially since they're willing to spend some money. Yes, we also spent $3 million on another player, a total of $3 million this summer. Yeah, see, they're spending money. Every team, that should be the bare minimum with teams this year. That should be the absolute bare minimum. Looks like Joseph Martinez scored the second goal for Montreal tonight. Interesting to see if he can stay healthy in the playoffs and what he can do. Obviously, Joseph Martinez has had a lot of injuries that have plagued him the last couple of years and really derailed his career. And that's why he didn't work out in Miami, and they moved off after this year. Plus, his price tag was a little too much. Should get Messi in here soon. He looks like he was warming up and stretching up. I'd say he'll probably play 30 minutes tonight. Ooh, what a pass from Kramaski to Suarez. A little bit too hard of a touch, though. I know I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, but also keep in mind we're going to take like an hour break after the end of the decision day in the Eastern Conference. Probably less than an hour. It actually looks like Messi's coming on now. We're going to take like whatever this ends until 9 o'clock, going to take a break, and then we will be back to do the Western Conference stream for Decision Day to see if LAFC or if LA Galaxy will finish at the top of the Western Conference table, which should be fun. Oh, so close by Suarez, almost got the hat trick. Chris Sundler says, "Who is the next coach fired?" I think it could be Neville if they lose the elimination game. No, I think Phil Neville's safe. I think the next coach to be fired might be Peter Vermees or probably Peter Vermees is my next coach that will be fired. And then we'll wait and see until the playoffs and see what happens. But I'd say Peter Vermees is probably my next manager that would be fired because he's been abysmal and they missed the playoffs again this year. I don't know how he's still employed after 15 years. But I think that I think he's got to go. Second to last team in the Western Conference. David the Apper says, even though Atlanta can still qualify, what a downfall from 2018. Yeah, when Tata Martino left, the team just completely collapsed. They had a couple spurts. They were okay. Messi checked in right now for Julian Gressel. Looks like he'll play the final 35, 33 minutes. But yes, as soon as Tata Martino left after that 2018 season when they won the MLS Cup, it's been downhill from there. They haven't done anything really. I mean, they won Campeones Cup against Club America in 2019, 2020 with Frank de Boer. But yeah, it's been a turnstile of coaches. They had Heinze, they had Frank de Boer, they had Gonzalo Pineda. I mean, they've had 3 managers in the last 5 years since Tata Martino left. So yeah, they definitely. It's been embarrassing, but I think with Patrick Vieira, if they hire him, I think that they can have some stability and they can come back. Looks like DC United, according to our friend Timothy. Oh, Kromoski scores. Who scored the goal? Let's see who scored. I missed it. Just split second. Miami's up 3-2. Didn't see who scored. Was looking at the other score. Charlotte FC is up 1-0 on DC United. So as it stands right now, let's look at the current standings real quick. Let us see. So as it stands right now, DC United is in 9th place. They are actually out of the playoffs. Atlanta United moves to 9th place. DC United is at the 10th spot. As it stands right now, wow. That's crazy, honestly. DC United. Be embarrassing to lose to not make the playoffs when you have a full strength team. DC United's going to have some changes too. I guess Troy Lucena is another guy I could see getting fired, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised him to move off. DC United has been bad since 2018 or 2019 when Wayne Rooney left. Just a shame, honestly, because there's a rich history with DC United. You know, they got the second most MLS Cups of any team. Benjamin Kromoski with the goal. See if it's updated now. The standings. Yep. So Atlanta United and Montreal would play in the play-in match as things currently stand. DC United would need a draw in order to jump back into the playoff contention. But Montreal is pretty much set themselves in stone that they're going to be at least the 8th seed, unless the Union come back in dramatic fashion and Montreal lose. They're going to be the 8th seed, and Atlanta United right now is the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference. I agree with David. Neville should go. Yeah, he should go, but I don't know if he will. Greg Morrison says Charlotte so underrated, really could cause an upset in the playoffs. I think they could. I think that's a team that could punch you in the mouth, especially if you're sleepwalking. I think that is a team 100% that could do some damage in the playoffs. %100%. Agent Winter says the script is in its final act. Yeah, I mean, this has been a crazy end. I think. I mean, I can't wait to see what the Western Conference does as well. But ooh, nice save, Diego Gomez shot attempt. This has been a great first half, first part of the decision day, the Eastern Conference. Couple teams, like DC United fall out of the playoff contention, and Atlanta United move up. Now, keep in mind, I think his name is Rob Valentino. He's the interim coach. Just because Atlanta United make the playoffs even with this, I would not give him the job. I still think they need to make an outside hire. Too big of a club and too important of a job to promote their interim manager to the full-time gig. I think they have to make a legitimate hire. Rob Valentino cannot be the Atlanta United coach. He cannot be. Mr. says, sorry, it was Chris Sundler with the comment. I agree, Neville should go. Yes, yeah. I think it's still too early. I think Neville will at least get this coach at the beginning of next year, especially since they made the playoffs. Charlotte, NYCFC, Houston, Seattle could all cause upsets. Now, I think Colorado is another team. I think Colorado is a team that could maybe upset like an LAFC. I think you have to keep an eye on a team like Colorado. Team that just could catch a team sleeping one night and beat them. Chris Sundler says Robert Valentino could be the next Nick Cushing if he gets appointed. Yes, I think he could be. I think he absolutely could be. And I think that is selling the club short because they obviously are an ambitious team, and I think that they're too good for that. They're way too good for that. And I don't think Arthur Blank would let that happen, especially since Gonzalo Pineda was such a disaster. In his, he was such a disaster recently. I don't think they would actually do that. I don't think Colorado can cause that big of an upset just because their style of play is quite risky, in my opinion. That's the reason I think they can, because it is risky. It's something that can either pay off or it can be an absolute disaster. And I think that they could really, really do some crazy stuff. Oh my God, what a bad giveaway. Oh my God, that was a bad giveaway by Toto Alvarez. Bobby Wood just missed a pretty easy goal, to be honest. He missed it just wide left. What a terrible giveaway by Toto Alvarez. What a terrible giveaway. What the hell was he thinking? That honest to God, that giveaway was so bad. He could have gotten an assist for it. That's how bad of a giveaway it was. He could have gotten an assist for the other team. Let's see. Looks like the scores. Oh, Nashville SC is scored. Nashville SC is up 1-0 on Chicago Fire. All games have a score now. No, none of the matches are scoreless. It's been very entertaining. Um, Looks like Nashville SC is going, I mean, the trend is they will probably beat Chicago Fire. Chicago Fire definitely has been struggling. Oh, Messi almost with a golazo. I doubt the Chicago Fire will be able to come back. I can't believe the downfall of the Revs. Feels so bad for the Revs fans. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the Bruce Arena curse. You fire a man wrongfully, and the team is cursed. The Bruce Arena curse will live on until it's rectified. That's just my opinion. Now, Bruce Arena would never take the job back. Like he would never want to go back to the Revs, but it's just a shame. It's just a shame because they had a well-oiled machine. They were playing really well, setting records, and he was wrongfully fired. This downfall has been horrible, and my money gets wasted on tickets most weeks. Jack, listen, I appreciate that you are a loyal fan that goes to the matches. And show your support no matter what happens through good and bad times. That's a true fan. Got a lot of admiration for you. The Revs in their 2017-2023 Galaxy era, right? Yeah, they are. But who's the Chris Klein to fire? Who would they fire to try to fix everything? Best scenario for us is Seattle win, we win, RSL lose. I'll have to go look at that when the playoffs to see what the positioning would be on that. I think that the Dynamo. I mean, wouldn't you want to play RSL in the first round since they've been struggling? I guess that's what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, even if Seattle draw, I think you guys would still play them in the first round. Bruce shouldn't have been sacked, and I really don't like how they handled it with him, and I don't understand why Caleb Porter's gone so wrong. Well, like I said, it's the Bruce Arena curse. I don't think anybody could save this team, but I think the worst part about Bruce Arena is we just got no clarity on what he did wrong. It was so vague. Like apparently it could have been some BS stuff, and they kind of escalated too much, and they made a mistake, but they didn't want to admit they made a mistake. So Bruce Arena got screwed and was out of a job. And I mean, he's clear to coach again if he wants, but nobody's hired him. So obviously it couldn't have been that bad. And I think any team that would hire Bruce would be smart. Honestly, the Chicago Fire should have hired Bruce Arena, in my opinion. Oh, the Revolution have scored and now is tied up 3-3. Looks like Bobby Wood scores. Inter Miami's going to have to pull one back. 70th minute. Things are getting interesting. I'm saying that because the Galaxy lost Bruce Arena and then went through that down. Yeah, I agree. They did. And also Chris Klein didn't help. Chris Klein was definitely detrimental to the team. Yes, we want to play RSL. We played RSL 9 times in the past 2 years and won 7 of 9 those games. Jack McKenna says, we will choke this. I've seen this so many times. Look at that defending, man. Is that wing it again with Calendar? Let me see if it is. Okay, so I think it was. Oh, it was David Martinez. I mean, Inter Miami's defense, man, is just so bad. Huge liability for them in the playoffs. Huge liability for them in the playoffs. Looks like it could have went off of his arm, though. Did it go off of Bobby Wood's arm? I don't know if you guys are even watching this match, but it looked like it ricocheted off of his arm. It hit the goalkeeper, saved it, and it looked like it came right off of his arm. Which I think that might be a no goal if that's the truth, or if that's the case. Bounce off Calendar. Yep, went off his arm. Could be a no goal. I'm a massive Revs fan until the game is over. I went on a game-long loan. You want them to beat Miami? Looks like the score lines are pretty much the same, minus this Revolution games where it looks Drake Calendar made the save on Bobby Wood at first, went off of his leg, hit Bobby Wood's arm, like his right arm / elbow, and they're doing a review now to see if it will be a handball. I don't know. I mean, it's close. I mean, it looked like it might have been a natural position. Here we go. They're about to see if it was a handball. Okay, goal is waved off since it hit Bobby Wood's elbow. No goal. VAR decision. No goal by Bobby Wood. Hit his right arm. So the goal is overturned. It is still 3-2 New England Revolution. That just seems like, 3-2 Inter Miami over New England Revolution. Just another run of bad luck by the Revolution, man. My God, they can't catch a break. They cannot catch a break. Interesting one. Bob Bradley was linked with a few teams last year, but now since he's out of a job, do you think he comes back? If so, where? So he was initially rumored to be maybe in contention with San Diego, and I had a source tell me that was not true. No one from San Diego had ever contacted him. There was no interest by either party. I don't think he comes back to MLS. I think he's probably done. I think Bruce Arena would get hired before Bob Bradley, but I could be wrong. I doubt he comes back, honestly. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, this is one of my biggest gripes with MLS. There is a lot, and I'm sure you guys would agree with this, a lot of mediocre coaching in this league. Half of these guys have no business coaching in this league. They're assistant coaches at best. There is a lot of mediocre coaches in Major League Soccer. A lot. And I think that is detrimental to the quality of the team because these guys in these positions have no idea what they're doing. And you can see what a competent coach, how well they can turn things around. I mean, Inter Miami was one of the worst teams in the league last year. Now they're the best team in the league, and obviously Messi helps. But, Tata Martino deserves credit. Jim Curtin, when he probably inevitably leaves, the Union's going to be a hot commodity. A lot of teams are going to want him. Some team might even fire their coach to be able to hire Jim Curtin. What if a team like Atlanta United, for example, right? What if Atlanta United hasn't hired Patrick Vieira because they're waiting to see if Jim Curtin becomes available and they hire Jim Curtin? What would you think if Jim Curtin went to Atlanta United? It could be an interesting fit, and they obviously spend money. For the first time in a few years, I'm glad it's the end of the season for the Revs. Do you think we get rid of Carlos Seal? Because I think he's run his course. Yeah, I think they could trade him. I do. I think he could be on the move. They'd have to find a suitor. They'd have to probably pay half his salary. But I could totally see Carlos Seal getting traded or something happening to him and moving on. I think that he was good in the Bruce Arena era, and I think that he is not really a fit for this new way of playing Carlos or Caleb Porter's style. I don't think he really fits his system and fits his vision. Charlotte FC scores 2 to go up 2-0 on DC United. DC United essentially eliminated from playoff contention. Unless they do something miraculous, it looks like DC United will be eliminated from the 2024 MLS playoff contention. Troy Lessin, I think, might need to be fired, honestly. I don't think he's a very good manager. I didn't think he was good with the Red Bulls last year. But I would not be surprised if they made a move off of him because they total failure on their part, And the sad part is that Benteke has actually been really good this year, in my opinion, and he hasn't had any help. He hasn't had any help. And it's sad because this is a team that had, Lucho Acosta and Wayne Rooney like 5-6 years ago, and they were really good team. They were Atlanta United's kryptonite when they were really good under Tata Martino. So it's sad to see how far they've fallen. Only reason Bradley is still relevant, coach, is because he was Arena's assistant in the late 90s and then did well for the Chicago Fire. Yeah, he won MLS Cup his first year in 98. Charlotte on fire. Benteke deserves better. He does. DC United still gets in if Atlanta don't win. Yeah, if they don't win, they do. But I think Atlanta United is probably going to win. New England need a full reset. Yeah, they spent a little money. Oh, what a goal by Messi. Golazo. Oh, my God. What a beautiful goal for Lionel Messi. 18th goal of the season. MVP of the league, in case you didn't know. That Lionel Messi. What a golazo. Wow. Wow. Well, Inter Miami essentially has locked up the MLS points record. It looks like they're up 4-2 on New England Revolution. It would take a miraculous comeback by the New England Revolution for Inter Miami to not pass this record. Wow. What a golazo and a great season for Messi, even with his missed time. What a great performance for him this season and for Inter Miami. Complete turnaround. Cellar dwellers to the best team in the league. Obviously, they still have to win the MLS Cup, but what a turnaround. What a turnaround by the Florida club. Absolutely crazy. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you like the stream and subscribe to the channel. I've mentioned this before, but we're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers before the end of the season. We got 2 months left. I think with your help, we could definitely hit 5,000 subscribers. We're less than 700 away. We're like 675 away to be exact. So I appreciate All the support. Let's try to hit that 5,000 before the end of the season. Troilson should be trusted. I think he's building something from what I've seen. They are just a few players away from being able to play the system Listen wants to play. Yeah, but are they going to actually give him the resources to do that? That's the question. Are they going to give him the money? Are they going to help him out? Or is it just going to be the status quo like it's been the last couple of years? That's my question. This is painful. I feel for you, Jack. It's not good. Messi out. Barry says this is why Tata should be coach of the year. Oh, scores again. Messi again. Second goal. 19th goal of the year. Messi with the brace. Is he not MVP? Is he not MVP? 19 goals, 12 assists. Case closed. Case closed. Case closed. Lionel Messi is your 2024 MLS MVP. $19 goals in 19 games for Lionel Messi, the GOAT. Brace off the bench. Brace off the bench. It's not even close. It's over. Told you Messi would score. Hey, he scored a brace, though. That prediction of Messi scoring was just meant to be. It wasn't it. Another one from Messi. Barry Billings says he was MVP before, but definitely is now. Yes, he is. Messi ruined the league. No, he helped the league. He helped the league. They just need to do a better job of promoting others. Teams need to spin and keep up. Cringe says MVP of the season. The Revs have given up already. Yeah, it's over. It's over. 2-0. Miami scored 5 unanswered goals, which is crazy to think of. Are there any? Let's see. Martincito says, are there any games free today? There might be. I'm not sure. I couldn't log into my Apple TV on my computer. I had to do it on my iPad. There might be some free games. Messi was going to win MVP no matter what. He would have won even if he scored 0 goals. Come on, man. Come on. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he did. Oh, okay. My bad. Yep. Let's see. Sorry. I need to refresh this. Sorry. My bad. These are the latest up-to-date scores. It hasn't been refreshing like it should. That's my bad. I'm sorry, David. It's 5-2 Inter Miami over New England Revolution. Now, here's the question: Is Messi still the best player in the world? Is he still the best player in the world? He might still be the best player in the world. Now, some people might argue with that, but he might be. He might be. Looks like the Crew or the Red Bulls have pulled one back against the Crew with a few minutes left. Looked like Emil Forsberg had scored that goal for him. Let's see. Messi easily still the best player in the world. I think he might be. I think Columbus have been a bit sloppy so far from bits I've watched. Yeah, they're not unbeatable, but they're definitely a very good, well coached team. Agent Winter says, bro, he scored 19 goals in 19 games in MLS. Holland has 10 goals in 7 games in the Premier League. Hey, listen, man, listen. But here's the difference, though. Messi has only started 16 games. He's played 19. I bet you Holland has started all 7 of those games. I bet you Holland has started all 7 of those games. Messi's only started 16 games. So he scored 19 and 16 starts. He's played a lot off the bench. Also, too, do you not think Messi could play in the Premier League and still do this? Is that onside? Is a little offside. Luis Suarez trying to get his hat trick. What a great way to finish the season by Inter Miami. What a great way to finish the season. Wow. This is a crazy finish, guys. We got probably 5 minutes plus stoppage time. 5 minutes plus stoppage time for the rest of the Eastern Conference Decision Day stream. Then we take a break, and then we will get back to the Western Conference. The Western Conference Decision Day stream, which I will have a couple guests swing by, so you'll definitely need to swing by. Join us for that one as well. Keyshawn says Potts ruining USMNT. Salute though. I don't know about that. Cringe says Alba just dribbled past by 3 Revs defenders. Agent Winter says there's no way this ain't scripted. Come on, man. It's not scripted. It's not scripted. Just a good team. Just a really good team. You love to see it. Looks like Charlotte will finish off DC United, and it looks like Atlanta United will sneak into the playoffs. Keyshawn says, I'm a big Chelsea fan. That game reminded me of the 2023 Chelsea. No adjustments, poor subs. You talking about the USMNT versus Mexico game? Jack McKenna says, this has been one of the best MLS seasons of all time, apart from the Revs, of course. Yeah. Oh, hey, update. New York Red Bulls have drawn with the Columbus Crew 2-2. Could be interesting for the playoff standings. Let's see. Let's look and see if that changed anything for the Red Bulls. Yes. So if the Red Bulls win, they will pass New York City up in the standings. They will be number 6 and New York City will be number 7, which means New York City will have to play the Columbus Crew in the first round of the playoffs. Wow. That's crazy. No, never mind. They have to win. My bad. If they win, though, if the Red Bulls win, they can find one more goal. They will pass New York City FC up in the standings, and they will be the 6th seed instead of the 7th seed. Messi with the hat trick. What a pass by Luis Suarez. Messi with the second half hat trick. Are you kidding me? Lionel Messi has scored 20 goals this year in 19 appearances. The GOAT. 20 goals. 6-2. Inter Miami ahead of New England Revolution. What a pass by Luis Suarez. What a pass. What a pass by Luis Suarez. May God have mercy on the New England Revolution soul. What a pass. So Inter Miami have 2 people on their team. This has to be the first time. This has to be I'll have to look it up. Is there ever been an MLS team that have had two 2 goal scorers on their team with 20 goals. Has an MLS team ever had 2 players on their team with 20 goals in a season? I don't think they have. I could be wrong though. Oh my God. 4 minutes of added time. I don't think that's ever happened before. I think we just witnessed history this season. 2 guys with 20 goals in one season on the same team. We are dominating Chicago. This national team really has promise. Yep, Nashville up 2-0 on the Chicago Fire. Who do you believe is the favorite to win the Western Conference? Keyshawn asked. I think the Galaxy still are, but we'll see what happens. I want Toronto to make the playoffs. It won't happen this year. It's going to be a while. It'll probably be maybe if they can spin and get rid of that Insigne's terrible deal. Mr. said it's not scripted. Messi just makes it feel like it. Yeah, he does. He does. He makes things feel surreal. Chris Sundler says this is from Miami. This from Miami is incredible. It is. What a finale. What a finale. Messi going to pass Benteke at this point. Yes, he might. Who is going to get first place in the Western Conference? I think the LA Galaxy will. That's my opinion right now. Ooh, Orlando City equalize. Orlando City equalized with Atlanta United. Charlotte's up 3-0 though on DC United. So as it stands right now, DC United back in the playoffs. DC United squeaks into the playoffs. But I just want you guys to know that DC United is absolutely terrible, so they shouldn't be able to make the playoffs, honestly. Like that should not be that's not a playoff quality team. Mr. says, and Messi wins another accolade. Yep, he does. Orlando goal. Yep. So Schaffelberg needs to go to Europe. I think he's got potential. I think he definitely has potential to go to Europe. His pace is incredible. Wow. What is this not what makes this game so beautiful? Is this not been an exciting finish to the Eastern Conference Decision Day? This has been magnificent. This has been so much fun. This has been an incredible stream. A lot going on. Been very exciting. The next stream is going to be fun too. We'll definitely have some guests on. It's going to be fun to see what happens in the Western Conference. But man, this has been very fun. 30 of you live right now. Make sure you like the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the little bell notification so you never miss any of my videos. Guys, we are 600. I'm sorry. Let me make sure I get this right. I don't want to give you the wrong number. Guys, we are 675 subscribers away from 5,000. 675 subscribers. This channel is completely free. The videos are free. All I ask you to do is like the video and subscribe to the channel. We got to hit that 5K before the playoffs is over. I know we can do it. Make sure you share with a friend. Make sure that you come back for the Western Conference stream. I appreciate all the support. This is going to be fun. This is the fastest growing MLS only channel, and it's thanks to you guys. We're going to have a lot of fun. This is just the beginning. The regular season ends today, but the fun just starts to begin with the playoffs. I'm very excited. This is awesome. A lot of fun. This has potential to be the best decision day of all time, but I bet the West will let us down like it normally does. No, I think the West is going to be fun too. I really do. Full-time, Montreal are in the playoffs. Yes, Montreal has qualified for the playoffs. Inter Miami has broken the 2021 New England Revolution points record. They now hold the record with 74 points, dethroning the wonderful season of 2021 by Carlos Gil and Bruce Arena's record. They are now the best team statistically in MLS history in a single season. Tata Martino, what a great performance. Much deserved. Much deserved. And Messi has most likely... Oh, no goal. No goal. David Yapper says no goal from Orlando City. It's 2-1. DC United has bounced back off the playoff bracket. Wow. Wow. Kalen says, "Hey, how's it going? F Miami. All right, got to go." Okay. Appreciate you stopping by for a second just to let us know. Wow. This is incredible, guys. This is so much fun. This is going to be fun for the playoffs too. This is going to be a fun playoff. Inter Miami breaks the record on decision day, 74 points. Messi essentially sures up he's going to be the MVP of the league, 20 goals and 19 appearances, 12 assists. Actually, I think he has 13 assists. They gave him the hockey assist. He'll have 13 assists and 20 goals. Wow. My fault, salty Revs fan. Hey, don't be salty. There's always next year. There's always next year. At least you lost to the record breaker. You didn't lose to a bad team. You lost to the best team in the league. So at least there's that. So we got full times. Let's see. Full time. The Red Bulls and Columbus, there's 6 minutes of added time. It looks like as of now, DC United is eliminated. Philadelphia is eliminated. It looks like Atlanta United and Montreal will finish with the 2 final spots in the Eastern Conference playoff contention. As soon as these games are officially over, we will pull up the bracket and look at the final standings. We will look and see what the matchups will be for week 1 in the Eastern Conference. What a crazy finish. Actually thought we would keep the record when we were up 2-0, but of course, Porter's tactics cost us again. But to be fair, Miami are world class. Yeah, and also too, Jack, you're playing probably the best player in the world still. So I mean, the guy scores a hat trick off the off the bench, man. I mean, what can you do, right? What can you realistically do? Please, Atlanta, only you are capable of eliminating Miami and yeah, maybe, maybe. Let's see. Okay, so there's 7 minutes stoppage time. So Orlando City SC and Atlanta United still are playing. New York Red Bulls and Columbus are still playing. If the results hold, though, Atlanta United will advance to the playoffs. I'm going to head off now. Cheers for the stream, pal. Really enjoyed it. Jack, thank you for stopping by, my friend. I appreciate the support. If you're free, try to tune into the Western Conference stream too. It's going to be equally as fun. Dabbing Inc. says Philadelphia eliminated from an own goal. Terrible. Yep. Not good. Why do you like Giroud? Why do you like Giroud hasn't worked just yet at LAFC? Think Bouanga needs to look to pass more. I just don't know if he fits the system. They need more crosses. I think that they're not really playing to his strengths. Oh, what the heck happened here? Hold on one second. Something happened on my screen. I think that they're not really utilizing him the way that they should. Columbus Crew last minute winner, no way. Columbus Crew wins. Columbus Crew 3-2. Red Bulls will stay at the 7th seed or the 6th seed in the playoffs. They will play. It looks like they will play Cincinnati in the first round. Wow. Nashville ended up winning 3-0 against Chicago. I just noticed that. Debating on whether I should watch Dynamo game or Western Conference stream. Hell, let's do both, man. Do both. Let's put one on your phone and put one on in the background. It's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy. We'll see what happens. Obviously, your team is playing the LA Galaxy, and LA Galaxy have to win if they want to be the first seed in the Western Conference. Union eliminated. This is the end of the Curtin era. I think it could be. I think he will leave on his own accord, and he will go to greener pastures. He will try to get a better job. He will go somewhere where a team will actually try to help him spend some money. I think that's very possible. I think that's very possible. David the Yapper says, my MLS 360 ain't showing the Miami goal. What the hell? Yeah, dude. MLS 360 is a disaster. Like I think that is very overrated. I don't think it's very good at all. That's just me, though. Chris Sundler says, genuinely believe if Curtin managed LAFC, he would smash all sorts of records. Yeah, if he had a team that just spent a little bit more, he would be doing well. He would be like, not as good as Wilfred Nancy, but just go to a team. Look what Wilfred Nancy did when he went from Montreal, a impoverished club who doesn't spend anything, to a team like the Crew who spend more. Look at what happened. They win. Giroud needs Antoine Griezmann. Yeah, they do. And it will happen. Matter of when, not if. So Atlanta United, it looks like they're going to hold on to this win. Let's go ahead and pull up the MLS standings. Let's go ahead and look and see what things are going to look like with MLS standings as things set right now. Okay, as it currently stands, we're going to end the stream on this. Inter Miami will play the winner of Montreal and Atlanta United in the play-in round that was going to happen on Wednesday. New York Red Bulls will face the Crew in the first round, a rematch of tonight's game. Cincinnati will face New York City FC. Orlando City will face Charlotte FC in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. This is going to be incredible. Buckle up, guys. This is just the beginning of the MLS Cup playoffs. It's going to be a fun ride. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video down below, and don't forget we're doing a Western Conference stream in 50 minutes. So just take a break, get you a snack, get you a drink, get some food, whatever you have to do. Be prepared. We're going to be back at 9 o'clock sharp to do a Western Conference stream to talk about who's going to make the MLS Cup playoffs, what the seeding is going to be in the Western Conference. This has been a lot of fun. It's going to be an exciting playoff. So stay tuned. We'll be back in less than an hour.